Welcome to Coffee and Candor. This is Chris.
Amber.
Ross.
And Brandy.
What
and
in the hell?
motherfucker, we nailed it.
That's because I started.
Okay.
All right, so we gonna hurt some feelings. Because we about to call some shit out.
Well, this should be new.
Yeah. So here, I don't normally do this, but here is your trigger warning. If you like to throw the race card, you should probably click off now.
What does a race car got to do with it?
Oh, I'm going to tell you.
I was uninformed.
So there was an incident that happened last week.
This week, I think.
Okay, this week. This woman in Jackson, Mississippi.
Okay, and it's important to note that the South has been in an extreme cold snap the last 2 or 3 weeks.
Like in the single digits.
Yeah, yeah.
Unseasonably cold.
It is, and I normally don't add details like this, but it is pertinent to the story. This is a black woman in Jackson, Mississippi. All right? This woman was bundled up, walking into Walmart at 10 in the morning, carrying her baby, who was wearing nothing but a diaper.
Yeah, I think it was 2.
Okay, I already am ready.
It was like, what did you say, like 9 degrees?
No, I think it was like 20.
Okay, 20.
Okay.
That's
below
still
freezing.
That's still well below freezing.
Yeah.
Now, if you're...
Well, hold on. So, what I wanted to talk about was not this woman per se, because you don't need to know any other facts of the situation other than what I just said, and that's neglect. Period. That kid should have been taken away. And anybody with half a brain is not going to argue that. Now, what I want to talk about is this live TikTok that Amber was listening to.
Well, did it have to do with that?
Jesus,
Yes.
did
Yeah,
it?
they were
That's
talking
what it
about
was
the
about.
case.
I was like, what? I'm lost. But
So-
wait a minute. I do want to call... Remember the last time we were in Starbucks together? Also during the cold snap? And that lady was all bundled up and had her little baby. And this child was dressed, but her little bare toes...
Oh, yeah, I
that
remember
pissed
that.
me off.
Yeah, but at least the kid was dressed.
Okay, but
I
damn
mean-
her little toesies.
Yeah. So
Your digits freeze before anything else.
Yeah.
Especially little baby toes.
On this live, I don't know that I've ever heard such blatant racism in my life.
Yes.
Like from the commenters or the person...
The people that were
Well,
talking
on the live, they were adding people in live.
like as like guests.
Yeah, like you had the
Yes.
host, and then
Like
they'll have like 6 or 8 people that can join in.
Like there was this one woman that said, "I don't like white people. I don't fuck with white people.
I don't talk to white
I
people.
don't talk to white people." It's like, listen,
So
bitch.
if you're white on here, and I can't remember what she said after that. I was
It's
just like,
listen here. If I were to say that about any race, that would be racist.
That's just gross.
yeah.
So for any other race to say that about any race is also racist. Period.
I know what people are going to say.
Oh, you better not say black people can't be racist.
People
Because somebody told them that, and it's fucking bullshit.
people
Yeah.
are going to say.
Or you can't be racist against white people, which is also bullshit.
I'm trying to think of the word. You can be something, but they're going to say.
There's a white people have never been
Oppressed or-
oppressed, so
I've heard.
Every
And that's-
group
that's
of
can't be
people
racist
on the
against them.
planet have been repressed
I've
at one time or
I've
another.
heard it said a lot that you can't that white people cannot be. I can't think of the. I'm trying to. But basically, because we have privilege that another race can't be racist against us, so that like that you basically
See, okay, I would like to know, and anybody is more than welcome to fucking tell me what exactly I get that another race doesn't get at least as much or more. It's not college admission, that's for fucking sure.
yeah, because like where I grew up, all my classmates, we all grew up in the same area. We all went to the same school. Yeah, some are not good people. Some have been in jail. Some are doing way fucking better than I am. But we all had the same chance.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the same thing where I grew up.
well, What I have always
and someone will say, I know, oh well, but back in the day when they weren't fucking alive, this happened, but it didn't happen to them.
I can see there are situations I can see white privilege glaringly. Like,
is it white privilege or is it green privilege? Because there's a difference.
It's a lot of times, because I certainly don't have no fucking green privilege, and no kid of mine ever did, because we, like I said, if we were middle class, it was just by the toenails. But like our youngest, and because of what we're talking about, I'm not going to say his name, even though we all fucking know when he's listening. But you know, he was always a little wild child, and he wasn't doing anything wrong, but he got a gun drawn on him by a law enforcement officer just at the end of our driveway. This was while Mama was still alive. And had he not been a white boy and a good old boy, I don't know how that would have ended. Because we see it all the time. Like, I never had to tell my kid, you know, make sure you don't make aggressive eye contact, or, you know, and I've heard those conversations from brown mothers and black mothers.
Well,
and so I can claim that I never had that fear that just by dint of being who my son was, he might not make it home.
Well, it probably didn't hurt that he knows the sheriff on a first name basis.
But this wasn't a sheriff. This wasn't someone he knew.
No, this was ward police.
And it was not someone he knew.
No.
Okay, so
luckily it didn't. When that person called for backup, the backup was someone he knew, thank God. But I still, like, he had his gun drawn on him, and that's scary AF. And can you imagine, like, somebody drawing a gun on Alexa?
But
yeah, but if he but okay, let's be realistic. If he would have got out and pulled a gun on the cop,
oh, he'd be dead in the dirt.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Or if he would have gotten
gotten
out of his truck and hauled ass, taken off running somewhere, that shit probably would have turned out differently.
But at the same time, I see so many sides of this, and it's so confusing and conflicting and everything else. Myself, at age 14, lived out in the county, rural farming area, blah, blah, blah. I walked over to a friend's house with my BB gun. Unbeknownst to me, because I had been out of state for a while, the neighbor between us had been robbed. So they were a little paranoid. They saw me walking down the road with that BB gun.
And you have to understand, when we grew up, I mean, when we were coming up, kids having guns, I mean, that was not
no. I mean, we'd go to high school with a hunting rifle in the back window of the truck. You know,
depending on the age of the people listening, they may not realize how normal that was.
Yeah, no, that didn't
like
happen in our school
all the trucks in the parking lot at the school had guns in them.
But
hell, I've been shot with a BB gun twice.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
But anyway, I had gone over to the friends, and of course, we didn't have cell phones back then. No. So you couldn't call. So I had walked over there, and he wasn't home. And so I was walking back, and the neighbor saw me, and they were paranoid because they'd been robbed and everything, and they called the police. So this is on like a county road.
Yeah, because this was real rural.
And state trooper came screaming up, slammed on his brakes in front of me, jumped out, drew his gun. Me, having some common sense.
Drop your gun?
No. I held my hands straight out like this and dropped the BB gun and said, BB gun. Mm-hmm. Guess what?
Totally reasonable thing to do.
Guess what? It was over immediately. Yeah. The officer was like, yeah, your neighbor had been robbed, so they were nervous. They were paranoid about it, blah, blah, blah. Everything's good. Just be careful, because you never know what's going on around you. You know, blah, blah, blah. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, that's the thing. You have to take
personal accountability for your actions.
You have to take some responsibility for yourself.
And I don't disagree with that at all. I don't.
And that's what I'm saying. Sometimes it's so confusing and so conflicting because I see so many different sides.
Why are there issues that we can't resolve? Because there aren't clear-cut one-size-fits-all answers.
Well,
And that's what, because you can see
there's
that.
also there's also this whole thing, and I have seen this too many times to count, where a cop will be arresting someone, and random motherfuckers will come out of their house, didn't see shit about nothing. All they know is there's a commotion outside, and he didn't do nothing. That's a good boy.
Well, you see
let him
see
go.
that on videos all the time now.
Yeah, and it's like, no, you need to shut the fuck up because you don't know what's going on.
If you're an eyewitness with something cogent, that's one thing. But
I can tell you another local example of that in the last 10 years. A Walmart and a kid, 18, 19, 20 years old, tried to steal a lady's purse. And this gentleman was walking out with his family and saw the kid trying to steal a lady's purse, so he hollered in kind of an attempt to intervene, and the kid shot him and killed him.
Killed him.
That kid's mama was all over TV. My baby wouldn't do anything. My baby this, my baby that, blah, blah,
Your
blah,
baby
blah,
did
blah.
have a gun.
A month later, her other son was being arrested and charged for the same thing. You have to take responsibility for your own actions. You have to take responsibility for how you raise your children.
Mm-hmm.
I mean...
And I get that, but at the same... Like, I know the way I was raised, and I mean, I wasn't allowed to watch the fucking Cosby Show. They were whiter than we were. And... certainly living better than we were.
Yeah.
He was a fucking doctor. But because they were the N-word, and that my dad loved that word. And I would cry, and not that I couldn't watch the Cosbys because he used those words, because
Pop would use that word, and it made me so mad
and
every
it
time
was
he said it.
dehumanizing, and it really bothered me. And the thing, and I've always been, I think it's part of like my neurodivergence that equity and justness is important to me.
Equity or equality? Because equality I'm all for. Equity is bullshit.
It depends on the situation.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Equity meaning equality of outcome never depends on the situation.
Equity, the definition I'm talking about, equity is the right thing happening. That's equity.
That's justice. The equity in the
There are different
contemporary usage means equality of outcome, as opposed to equality, which is meaning equality of opportunity.
Well, okay, let's have that talk then.
Okay.
Because I have a disabled grandson. Mm-hmm. So,
okay. That
is.
No, it's not. You're moving the bar immediately.
How?
No,
if you're saying equity.
No. If we're talking about me and 50 other people.
Okay.
And we all have equality of opportunity, which means we're all in pretty close to being the same.
Right.
Then our end result should be based on how hard we work. What you're talking about is not the same.
Tell me how that's not equity
because equity means
no. If my grandson's put in a class and he's given the exact same conditions for learning as his peers, if he has learning disabilities and physical handicaps, he can't meet those same objectives.
Then he shouldn't be put in that class.
Yeah.
Well,
or he should
that's what's being done in Arkansas right now.
Yeah, they've taken away.
And that's another thing.
So what?
But what equity in the contemporary definition means is no matter. Go ahead.
I am.
No matter how hard I work versus the next 49 people, we all have the same end result, and that is bullshit. If our starting point is equal, the end result is not going to be the same. If the end result is equal, the starting point can't be the same. So,
okay, I'm gonna get back on top of it because this is kind of going like the live where everybody was going off.
Okay.
people in the live kept making these excuses. Well, we don't know what's going on at home. It doesn't matter what's
Was her
going
ass
on.
clothed?
Yeah.
Yeah, she had a big old jacket
bundled
on.
up jacket.
She was bundled up.
Or we
So
don't,
she knew that it was cold outside.
Yeah. Oh,
and then
yeah.
and, like they started going on about
How she
her
was
husband or her
frustrated and-
ex, and yeah, she was frustrated. Had nothing to do. And then when me and a bunch of other people were like, "Stop making excuses! Stop making excuses!" We're not making excuses. What she did was wrong. Then why do you continue to
why
make
are
these
Yeah,
you-
excuses?
they would say they're not making excuses while they're literally
Well,
If she's
making
frustrated,
excuses.
she wasn't so frustrated that she was unable to dress herself.
Yeah, she didn't forget to put her jacket on.
Or her pants.
And then
Exactly.
you know, people are like, "Well, we know that some kids don't like clothes on and they take them off."
Bullshit.
That doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter.
Okay,
You
so
put
if you're getting out of the car and they've taken all their clothes off, put them the fuck back on.
Yeah, that's why you were the parent.
Because somebody in Walmart, another customer, actually went and bought him a little jumpsuit and was dressing him. He didn't have a problem putting those clothes on or keeping them on.
and she was fine with that?
oh, she was over here doing her shopping, just like ignoring what they
How
were
old
doing.
was this child?
2.
Sounds like
Yeah,
she's,
and I believe the mother was mid-20s.
They're basically pissed
sounds
off
like she's
that,
just a piece of shit parent.
that
to
she's
me.
in jail.
She should be in
Yeah.
jail.
Should
That's
be in jail.
neglect.
That is
Yeah.
that's literally the definition, and they were all like, "Well, what she did was wrong, but she doesn't deserve jail." And
Yes, she did.
and
She
she
put
doesn't
him
deserve.
physically at risk.
And she doesn't deserve
they
to have her
kept
kid
bringing
taken
up the
away.
topic of race, going back, you know.
I don't care if
saying-
she's purple. She wasn't taking care of her kid.
I said, if
Exactly.
this woman was white, would y'all be making the same excuses for her? They would not. Of course, nobody answered me. Because let me tell you, if she was white, I'd be saying the same damn thing. She
yeah.
deserves to be in jail and
You-
that kid taken away.
If you're going to take your child out, your child needs to be dressed for the weather. It's no different than leaving them in hot cars. It's just the opposite end of the,
Yeah,
Oh, and then one woman was like, well, we've seen these white people with their kids in the store, no shoes on and their feet all dirty. No, we're
There's a
not talking
difference.
20-degree weather either.
Yeah.
yeah, but
So there's a
also
big difference between dirty feet and your child
and
being
getting
damn near
frostbite on your little
naked.
toes. I don't understand why people. I don't understand why they argue semantics instead of just what it is.
Exactly.
Like, I don't.
well, and not
What
only
is
that,
broken in you that you just can't go? That's a child being neglected. Period. Full stop.
Well, it's like the whole leaving the kid in the back seat thing. I mean,
Oh, you mean like just leaving them in the car?
Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
getting them that.
Well,
okay.
when we were outside, he was talking about the apparently on the new vehicles, there's a thing when you turn the car off, it says check your back seat or whatever. And I bet someone tried to sue an auto manufacturer.
Trying to blame that.
What got me is when they were like, put something important to
Like
you,
your phone.
like
Yeah,
your phone
or-
in the
yeah,
back.
like
I
your-
don't know, like your child.
Yeah.
Like
Your-
what's more important
Yeah, your
than
fucking
your
kid's
fucking
back there.
child?
I mean, some people are just shitty parents.
Yeah.
Some people shouldn't be parents.
Exactly.
That
Oh,
is
and this
the
woman
truth.
has, I can't remember how many.
It's
Several other kids.
why is
No,
it the ones
no,
that
she
don't
had-
take care of them that get to have so many when there are so many people that can't have children that would love them and
And then and someone in the store was like, someone needs to call the police. Someone needs to call CPS.
is that the only child she had with her?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
only
and
saw
she-
one
she
child
had
with her.
one
and then
other
she
at
said,
home.
Go ahead. CPS has already been called on me twice. All I need is hot.
I wonder why.
All they care about is if I have hot water. And then she started twerking.
Are you shitting me?
No,
Jesus.
I
Like
watched the video.
like the fact that she was so cavalier about the child's safety, that's gross. And I really don't understand why anybody would defend her.
That's what irritates me, and it goes back to the whole following the rules thing. She knows that baby is not wearing any clothes, but all of her contemporaries, I just spit everywhere. All of her contemporaries are screaming how, oh, she didn't do nothing wrong. Oh, she doesn't need to be in jail. Motherfucker, if she would have...
How would
that
you
kid
feel
is freezing.
if someone
literally.
called CPS on you? Well, if my child was in freezing degree
my
weather in a
child was
diaper,
in physical
then I need
danger.
to
Yeah,
have
exactly.
CPS called
Or,
on me.
or
would
left in
want-
the back of a vehicle in 100-degree weather.
Like,
here's the
I mean,
thing.
hello,
You know,
that's just two sides of the
because-
same coin.
Yeah.
I would call in a heartbeat on somebody. Mm-hmm. If it protected a child,
Yep.
because you can do whatever your grown ass wants, but a child is just taken along for the ride and doesn't
Yep.
get to.
Yeah, and,
Oh my God! And this one bitch on there, she was like,
Oh, there were a lot of
them
armchair
were
lawyers.
against CPS. Like they just because
And I
CPS has a thing
understand-
against black people apparently.
Well,
no,
I've
what
sat
she
through
said was-
hearings with what CPS here is DHS.
What she said was that she didn't like CPS because CPS is traditionally white female or Caucasian female social workers, and they come in with preconceived notions.
And this same
If your house
woman,
is crawling with roaches and your baby's crawling with roaches, that's not a preconceived
this
notion.
same woman's like, I've unfriended people because they were beating their children or bringing men in who were sexually abusing her children. She unfriended them. Bitch, why did you needed to call CPS?
Right.
Is what you needed to
Unfriending
do.
them seems like
now,
too little, too late.
if someone comes in and kills this baby, you're now responsible because you knew it was happening.
and you didn't like unfriending them. That's your solution. Like, how does that help the child?
Nothing.
That's like, oh,
It
something's
does
going on
nothing.
in that room. Let me just close the door.
Well, you know what that does? That salves so you don't have to be made uncomfortable by it. But you don't have to actually do anything to make the situation better.
Yeah,
and they were going
I
about
don't-
how all these people were, what's the word? Confronting her in the store,
Somebody should have.
and it wasn't. What good was that doing? Confronting her. What
because-
good was it doing
they-
that they were videotaping?
They crossed
her?
an intellectual boundary. That was my favorite part.
An intellectual boundary.
Oh, yeah.
because they confronted her on how she was.
because they
raising
gave her
child.
unsolicited advice. It's like, bitch, you need
These are
something.
the excuses that people were making up.
I'd
It
have
was
been like,
ridiculous.
I think I would have walked up to her and I would have been like, does that baby need help? Do you need help taking care of that baby? Can I take that baby home?
She wouldn't have had shit to do with you.
No, because she already said that.
Oh, no, that was a different woman.
Oh.
But that woman wouldn't have had shit to do with you
because you were white.
because you're white.
Was the person who was the
It was a
I
black
think
woman.
everybody in the video was black. I don't think there were any
like
white
the person
people.
that bought the clothes and was
Yeah.
putting the clothes on the baby? And you don't think they knew each other?
No,
It wasn't like a small like.
no, she wasn't.
this is-
she wasn't even.
This is in Jackson, Mississippi.
Oh, big
yeah.
town.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, this woman was dressing her baby right there in the middle of the aisle, and she wasn't even like.
Interacting.
No, she continued on with her grocery shopping.
but what makes me sick?
She didn't
and
say thank you.
Wow.
what makes
he
me sick
really
though,
needed clothes. Nothing. Just
and what I think is indicative of a much more serious problem is the fact that everybody on this live, all they cared about was making fucking excuses for her behavior and why she didn't need to face consequences for
Why
her
is
actions.
she, as an adult, more important than that child who's helpless?
Shit if I know.
because let me tell you, if it was money or something, I'd sell that big ass winter jacket I had to go buy my baby some clothes.
Right. I mean, or I see people here just around here in the local buy nothing groups asking for things for their kids all the time. I'm a pretty proud person, but if it was that or my child being naked in a snowstorm, you're damn right I'd be on there asking. And I don't understand how people can say this mother, her privacy, her physical and mental well-being, all of these things are important. They're actually more important than the physical safety and security of that child. Because we were just talking about generational traumas. You don't think growing up with that kind of a neglect starts that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And there was this one woman.
People in the comments like, can we get back to talking about the kid?
The baby who matters in
Yeah,
this?
there was this one woman, and she and her husband been together for 20 years. She mentioned that probably 10 times.
They got 6 kids.
and that's awesome for them.
Well, great.
Great. And they got 6 kids. Cool. and they don't ask their daddy for nothing. Okay, well, whatever. And they
don't understand
and
what that
sometimes
means.
we fight, and
she can't
sometimes
do anything
we don't. And
by herself, and she's so overwhelmed, and you don't know what this woman's going through.
Oh, she's saying like the kids, all the emotional.
yeah, do
work
you see how
goes
Yeah.
to the mama.
you got lost there? Everybody else did too, because she
Well, yeah,
just,
I didn't know
it
what
was
you
all
were
of this,
saying, that she, like, all the
didn't either. It was
emotional
all of
labors
this
on the
fucking
mama, so
word
we should-
vomit.
Yeah,
So
it
we
was all
should-
word vomit.
Yeah, it was all just this word vomit to basically make another excuse.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's
she-
like, it's like, what the fuck?
I don't know if these people actually like didn't think they were because they were like, no, it was bad. What she did was bad. Like, did they not realize they were making excuses?
They don't.
For her?
and
They
what-
think they're
the-
trying to give you extenuating circumstances
When
But
there
it
aren't any.
When it comes down to it, I don't care why you can't take care of your child if you can't take care of your
Yeah,
child.
and that's-
Someone
that-
else needs to do the
That's
job.
what I told
all
Amber.
you need are the facts. This baby was out in the freezing cold.
You don't
with
even
a
need
diaper
all the
on.
facts. All you need is baby was in a diaper, 20-degree weather. That's it. That's all you need.
Because let me tell you
Because
what.
nothing else matters in that situation.
It doesn't take much to extrapolate what else must happen to that baby.
Yeah, that's what Amber said.
I
She
put
said
that in the
that's-
comments too. I said, if she's doing this in public in front of all these people,
What else?
What the hell's going on behind
Yeah.
closed
Well, I'm
doors?
telling
That's
you,
not
this-
a, that's
this-
not a huge leap.
Yeah, that's not a big jump.
This is so close to the whole leaving them in the back seat and 100-degree
yeah.
weather thing.
Yeah.
Because they do the same
Outrageous.
thing. They make excuses and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Oh, they had a lot in their mind.
I don't
you.
give
Okay.
a shit. Because here's the thing. When you have a child, that child becomes more important than your wants.
Yep.
That child's needs are more important than your wants.
You know,
At least
we've
until
talked
that
about
child
the,
is 18 years
We've
old.
talked about the child left in a hot. You know, I had someone unfriend me over my opinion on that. Somebody I'd known since I was 15 years old.
What, they're leaving a child in a hot car
Because
is bad?
I said that they should
Be
be
prosecuted.
prosecuted.
How can you argue against that?
Right? That's what I thought. You know, because I do. You know, I have
Well,
big. You know, I have big
there was
opinions.
a lot going on, Chris.
But I try not
No,
to
the
put,
fuck there was not, Ross.
I try not to put controversial opinions that are just going to stir shit on Facebook because it's a happy place for me. I don't want to, but that don't mean I have big opinions. But so I thought, who could possibly
Exactly.
like
Right.
this can't possibly inflame anyone, right? Wrong.
Who was it?
You don't know him. It was a guy that ran around with the group when I was running around with Brian and his friends in high school. He was a senior when I was a sophomore.
He sounds like a
did
genuinely
he happen
shitty
to know?
person.
Because wasn't there like a judge? Was he in Arkansas?
No,
That-
this wasn't that case. This was before
This is a
that.
different case.
Because that
Okay, that guy did get privilege, but it wasn't white. It was
It was
green.
green.
It was green.
And you said you made that comment earlier, and Brandy was kind of like, "But no, exactly right. That judge, the judge is the one that actually left the kid in the car.
No, I
The
thought it was a
only
lawyer.
reason he
No,
got
it was
off,
the judge.
Oh,
he was
okay.
a judge.
Oh, that's right, because we talked about that. And we were like,
The only
how is he
reason-
qualified to judge other people?
Exactly.
Yep.
That's the only reason he got off, because of his status and because of his money. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Okay, so you didn't prosecute him. There is no fucking way that son of a bitch should be a judge
No.
anymore.
But he
No,
still
no, no,
is.
no.
No, the one I was talking that had
I
this.
was just wondering, like, if maybe he knew the person.
No, because that
or-
was what I asked mutual friends after the fact. I was like, did I step on something? Did he know the guy?
Fuck him if
Because
he did.
this was up
Northwest.
It was up in around Fayetteville. It was somebody who worked for Walmart's corporate office, and the person that left the child.
Right.
It was an executive, a lower executive at Walmart, and it was the man in this situation that was supposed to drop the little girl off at daycare, but forgot and left her.
Drove to work, parked in the parking lot,
Took
got
his
in.
lunch in, had
Yeah.
all day, and then came back and found her dead. And I was like, I'm sorry. That,
I'm not.
That should be. I'm sorry.
That should be the death penalty.
Because if you are so whatever, I don't even know what that is, but if you're so careless with a child that is too young to take care of themselves, You know, because I mean, too young to open the door, get out, whatever.
Right,
I mean,
right.
Think about that. And I don't see how you can excuse that. And they were like, well, they're under incredible pressure at work, and I don't
Does
care.
not
Every
matter.
fucking body's
I don't know
under some kind of
anybody
pressure at work.
Who's a parent that hasn't at some point in raising that child been under excessive, incredible, excruciating pressure.
Oh, yeah.
It just goes with the territory.
I was under so much pressure at one of my jobs at the VA. It blew out my adrenal glands because I was always in fight or flight mode for like
Right.
5 years. And you know what I never did? Leave Alexis in the back of a fucking car.
Well, that's just it. I mean, parenting is a high stakes thing. Like, the stakes are high.
Yeah.
And you're raising people that are dependent on you, and shit gets hard. But it's been hard since the dawn of time, and I don't know why
yeah,
this
there's
is
never been a time when it's been easy for us normal
right.
folks.
And so,
Well, they probably didn't leave them in cars because they didn't
Well,
have
but you know
cars.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
but you
They-
can leave them in
they
the back of a buggy.
you know,
Okay.
But the buggy was, open.
Some of them had glass though.
Yeah, but I still like who can have a problem with this statement? Well, apparently someone.
Yeah.
You know
Apparently
what?
quite a few people.
If anybody, this goes out to the whole world, all 8 billion of us. If you have a problem, if you think it's okay to leave a kid in the back of a car, go ahead and kill yourself.
Well, here's the
because
thing.
world does not need yo ass.
Here's the thing. It was just like
That's
this.
gonna get this flagged, I'm sure.
Yeah,
by
absolutely.
The way.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna edit it though.
Here's the thing. They weren't saying they think it's okay. It was just like this.
No, they
was just
absolutely were.
excuses.
They were saying it
but
by
they
proxy.
weren't verbalizing it that
Oh,
way.
but they were
as
saying it by
good
proxy,
as,
yeah.
Because to get offended by somebody saying this is awful, you should be prosecuted for this. This is negligence. You know, if you weren't paying attention and backed over somebody and killed them with your car, that's involuntary manslaughter. That's a thing.
Yeah, but if you say this is wrong and they take the other side of that, they're saying it's
Right.
okay.
But making excuses, well, you don't know the pressure, you don't know what they were going through.
and I don't give a fuck.
Care.
And don't care.
Yep.
Yeah, what they're going through did not make any difference when that
'Cause let me
child was dying.
No, and let me tell you what.
When that
That's
child was cooking
excruciating.
to
Yes.
death in the back of that car.
Because I've sat through testimony of what a child
please
goes
don't
through.
share it.
I won't. Because it literally,
I've heard it before and it's fucking horrifying.
let me tell you, if you hear it, you'll never unhear it.
I have heard it from you.
And it's not,
It's not something I care to hear again.
no, and it's not a fast process, y'all.
No.
And it's not easy. It's not one of these things they just get hot and they drift off. Mm-mm.
No,
it's violent.
it's very active and it's
and you
it's
can't tell me
disgusting
at
to-
no time in an 8-hour workday
Did you think about your kid?
did you go, I wonder what little Susie's doing at daycare today. Oh,
shit.
Shit,
I didn't
yeah.
take little Susie to daycare
Exactly.
today. So I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I think about my dogs more than that.
Yeah.
That one, you said the Walmart executive, was it the one, because I know you mentioned lunch, but you said it so quick. Lunch was in his car and he went to get it. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. I saw that story.
Yeah.
The baby is in the back seat and
With his lunch.
he claims that he opened the door and I think someone was talking to him and he was talking, he just reaches in and
Nope.
grabs his lunch and closes the door.
That sounds
Bull
like
fucking
premeditated
shit.
murder to me.
Number one, I don't believe that happened. Number two, it doesn't fucking matter what the excuse is. It doesn't make a fucking bit of difference.
No.
That's another one. Here are the facts. The kid was in his care. The kid was in his car, and he left the kid in his car in the fucking summer,
To die.
Mm-hmm.
and that child died horribly. Mm-hmm. There's nothing else that needs to be said. It doesn't not matter what the extraneous circumstances are.
I don't care if he was under an audit from the IRS and God. I don't care.
I've been audited by the IRS. You know what I didn't do? Leave Alexis in the back of a goddamn car.
It's just, like this.
Of course, at that time she was like 17.
Well,
so
but still.
she'd have probably said something.
She was like, bitch.
I can't get this hardness
No,
off.
no, she'd have been on her phone. She just
Google, what are butt babies?
She swears that she didn't say
I
that.
was there.
But yeah, I was
She
too.
swears she was a lot younger
Oh yeah,
than
she's
she
like,
actually
I was
was.
like 8. This is, girl,
no,
you were like
you
15.
were-
No,
you're like
ma'am.
15.
You were 15.
We were all present.
Yep.
It actually was said around my dining room table.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, but yeah,
I don't understand how anybody could type out the words anything but that's awful, or something to that effect.
But like I said, if you take the other side of that, you're condoning it. Period. There's no other way to get around that.
I know. I can't imagine, some terrible thing happening to a child and be like, yeah, but
nothing. There's no other way to balance that equation.
No.
And like being naked, I mean, a diaper is essentially naked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that kind of weather is
Just as dangerous.
More things I heard from the people talking on the live. Well, he wasn't shaking. He wasn't crying.
okay.
Well, when EMT got there, his body temperature was normal. So he must have been fine.
Because he had been in the damn store at that point.
yeah, how long have they been wandering around? And
Yeah.
so
And when people started saying something to her, she took her jacket off and put it around him. So it looked like,
Yeah.
so people wouldn't notice.
Yeah.
But they're like, he wasn't shivering, he wasn't crying, so obviously
Okay,
he was
well,
fine.
when hypothermia sets in, there's a certain point where you quit
You get
shivering.
hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you know.
That's
Yeah,
why hot
that's
and
that's
start-
why people take their clothes
Yeah,
off.
That's
people get
actually
hot
when
and
it's
start taking their
dangerous.
clothes off.
Is when you stop shivering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that means your body's like, oh, we got to conserve energy, and this
Yeah.
isn't doing it.
Yeah, and you start actually shedding clothes at this point.
Mm-hmm.
That's where they find people that froze to death with their clothes off.
Yeah.
But who? I don't care. Like, I don't care that it didn't get to that point. Mm-hmm. The fact that she thought it was okay to take that child out like that.
I mean, on that particular
what if
day.
she broke down in the car?
Well,
Yep.
on that particular day, it would have actually been better for her to leave the kid in the back of the car.
Oh, yeah, it'd been warmer.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you're
Not that
talking
I'm
about.
advocating that. but-
No, none of us are. Just
But-
so that's out there. But I mean,
yeah, I mean, like,
Because we remember how cold that freaking wind was, too.
son
when it
of
got,
a bitch,
oh.
that was cold.
cut through you,
It wasn't cold like that one year, but motherfucker, it sure was cold.
Well, and it's just like, so your excuse is he didn't die, it was fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
basically.
I mean, well, thank God. I mean, that maybe she
But
didn't
you
live
know
far
what?
from that, but whatever. It's
If,
still not okay.
if the kid would have died, they'd have still been making fucking excuses for him.
For
or
me
for
to
her.
truly believe it was okay, she didn't need to been in her underwear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If she
I
was
said-
in her underwear,
Because then
They
at
were
least
talking about her. They were talking about her mental,
state or
States.
whatever.
yeah, her mental state too. Maybe something's mentally wrong. I was like, well, she dressed herself fucking fine.
yeah.
Did she have shoes on?
Well,
Yes.
if she was in her underwear as well, then at least you could legitimately
Yeah, like,
surmise
Say
something's
and go,
going on
that
okay,
there's
here.
probably
went
something
wrong.
fucking wrong with her.
Right, like she's not functioning.
Right.
But
she had
Or she
had the-
legitimately wasn't cold, so
So
assumed the
she
baby
assumed the
wouldn't
baby
be. I
wasn't.
mean,
but she had the presence of mind to dress herself fully,
Yes.
big jacket and everything, and said, "Fuck this baby."
yeah. Or
That's-
I ain't got
that's-
time to do this
Yeah,
with the baby.
that's the no. You know what? I don't want to add something that wasn't part
No.
of the thing.
because it's bad enough.
Yeah.
Whatever happened, she had the presence of mind to dress herself and actively did not dress that baby.
Yep.
You know, because I don't want to be one of these dickheads that puts out these fucking
Yeah.
Theories and what all.
Yeah. Oh well, it could have done this. This could have happened. Nah, it doesn't fucking matter. None of that matters.
Vaxar's baby was almost naked, freezing temperatures, and Mama was warmly dressed.
Yeah, and those are the only facts you need.
I can't. And see, that's why I couldn't be a cop. Or,
Nope.
'Cause I'd have lost
I
my
couldn't be a
shit.
cop. I couldn't be a social worker. I couldn't be an animal control officer. There's a lot of jobs that I could not do. I used to think, oh, I can do anything. Well, all right, no,
I mean, I could fit, yeah.
I could.
You wouldn't want me to.
No, nobody would want me to.
They'd be like, don't call her.
Because there'd be a lot of motherfuckers getting tased just for being mouthy.
I mean, well, not just that. Like, if you're an adult and you're just harming you, I really don't give a fuck.
yeah,
It's
if
that
you
rule
do shit
thing
and it
again.
only
like,
affects
if it
you,
only
then-
affects you, I don't give
yeah,
a fuck.
most of the time I don't either.
But if someone who doesn't have a say because they're too old or too young or too
Frail.
frail
whatever.
or
Disabled,
disabled,
yeah.
whatever, is being taken
Mm-hmm.
along for a ride on your
Shit show.
yeah. No, I care a lot.
Yeah.
And like that's just
every day I realize, like, I grew up with a great mom, because my mom would have literally, if that would have been completely reversed. If my mom had to go into Walmart naked to make sure my ass was covered, that would have been the way. And so I was given a mom that would have literally, you know, that thing, you don't have to set yourself on fire to keep yourself, set yourself on fire to keep others warm. No, my mom would absolutely set herself on fire to keep me warm. So I just can't even.
I know.
I can't.
Yeah.
So that's the way I loved mine, and that's, you know, I guess that's a positive sort of, you know, generational thing, but I just can't conceive of it. And I always go back to, because I remember when I was a little girl, old enough, you know how, like, when you start noticing things like that in public, like, don't seem right, and then you talk to your parent about it, and I always remember I would notice things like that, and my mom would say, well, honey, just remember, if this is what's happening in public, or what's being said or done or shown in public, just think about how much worse it must be behind closed doors.
Yeah.
And I've always thought about that. And that's one of those things that I always think in those situations, because that's bold. I mean, that's bold. You know, like, I don't understand. She didn't expect that reaction.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't have any idea.
She thought nobody in the Walmart is going to think a naked baby is.
She probably didn't put enough thought into it to care.
Well, I do know that the Walmart employee that, so there was a Walmart employee that videotaped her, was following her around, videotaping this baby, you know.
Naked.
Yeah, and she posted it on social
And
media.
she was telling people, you know, someone needs to call the police.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And she got fired
I'm sure she did.
because Walmart has a policy about you can't record customers on your personal device.
Right.
Should she have been fired?
I wouldn't have fired her.
I don't know. It is breaking the rule.
Yeah, again,
but
I wouldn't
that
have
woman
fired
was
But
also
is
breaking
it-
the law,
is-
and
is-
she was
it's one of those
documenting
rules,
it.
like, is it automatically fired, or are you supposed to get written up, or did they just,
Yeah,
you know,
or is there,
like,
or do the situation matter
because
at
they
all?
told her you need to delete this, and she deleted it right away. And it was a few days later they ended up firing her.
Yeah, apparently she
Probably
posted it. She
'cause
posted
they
it on
probably
her
caught
personal
some,
account.
like, flack
Yeah,
legally.
yeah, and I mean, I don't think unless I was mandated by corporate, I don't think I would have fired
I
her for
wouldn't
that.
have unless I was told.
Yeah, I mean, if it was her or me, well, you know, sorry, but if it was up to me, I think I would have let that ride.
We're going to punish people for doing the right thing.
Yeah,
You know,
and
I mean,
that was
Well, I mean,
video,
you know,
that was video evidence for the
Walmart
police
is-
too.
yeah.
You hear about that at Walmart a lot. Like, if people try to stop someone from shoplifting,
If
they'll fire them.
employees try to do the right thing and then they're punished,
Well,
They
it
are
goes
not
back-
allowed
it
to
goes back to
do
that-
any kind of interaction like that.
Yeah.
It goes back
with
to that
the
loyalty
customer.
thing. I wouldn't try to stop no mother. This
Oh.
motherfucker makes 10, 15, 20 billion dollars a year. Take what you want. I'm not gonna stop you.
Oh, I wouldn't try to stop like a shoplifter or something, but if somebody was being harmed.
Well, that's different.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I mean, even in situations like that where they're trying to protect other people, I've seen it backfire.
Mm-hmm.
I probably would. I'd probably try to take the shit out of their hand.
I wouldn't care.
I wouldn't.
I'd be like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, no, absolutely not.
Unless
They've
like
got
I
loss
was
prevention.
loss prevention, and then it was like my literal.
So that's
No,
where
that-
the
no,
rules
that
come
mean-
in. Like, but you ain't stealing. You ain't getting shit for free.
No, they write that shit off as a loss.
Oh yeah,
Fuck them.
yeah. I mean,
That company makes more than damn near anybody. I mean, you got what do you have? Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, and Walmart.
Yeah, they're like the big.
Yeah, maybe if they didn't buy all their shit from China and
That's
supported
really
local.
I don't know why
Unfortunate.
I'm such a stickler for rules.
I don't know.
I mean, I don't
it
think
really
Grandma
doesn't fit
was
with your
I don't know, 'cause
personality.
rules are mostly bullshit.
Yeah,
because Grandma. I don't really remember Grandma being like.
she doesn't strike me. The things you've told me, like a big rule follower, like and it doesn't fit with your personality.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
It has to be trauma from your mom being so like
Getting away with
Getting away
shit.
with
off the
everything.
reservation about everything.
It's
Because she
gotta
really
be.
did get away with fucking everything.
Sounds like she still does.
I mean, well, I don't know. I hadn't seen her in fucking almost.
I mean, that
like,
pisses me
15
off when
years.
people get away with stuff.
Well,
It's just-
dude, you don't understand the shit she got away with would put a normal person in
Yeah.
jail for a decade. You know,
Yeah.
and she'd walk out with 5 years probation.
Well, I know some people like that.
I can't stand it.
You know, I've sat up close and personal and watched it happen, and I'm like, "Pff, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, I just hate it that people couldn't see the forest for the trees, and making excuses for that woman became more important than being
Holding her
The
accountable for
welfare
her
of the
fucking
child.
actions.
What gets me is just I don't understand what's going through their head when they're saying, "Oh no, what she did was wrong." We're not making excuses,
I don't know.
but they continue to make excuses.
Right. Like, I don't know if
understand that.
there's some part of them that is afraid that they might make a blunder and someone. I really don't know. I don't understand it because, I
That's the only thing I can think is like you've done something similar.
or some, yeah. I mean,
And-
because God knows I'm a shades of gray person. I really am. I can see the shades of gray in almost everything. But now some things,
Some things are black and white, and there is no gray.
yeah, like. I'm sorry, child neglect. That is not a shade of gray kind of situation.
Yeah.
Even for me, like I can't find any like.
Oh God, what are you about to
no.
say?
In this situation, absolutely, there is no gray.
Right.
I could probably think up some instances that had some pretty significant.
That it's
gray
okay to
area.
neglect a
Not
child?
that it's okay, but that
See, now you're
Negle-
sounding like
no.
these people in the live.
I prefaced
Just give
it.
me a hypothetical.
I'd have to think about it, but I'm sure I could. What I'm saying is, I could think of situations where
Okay.
the
well,
observation
well, wait.
of neglect isn't actually neglect.
Where it might look like.
Where
Is
it
that
might
what you're
look like
saying?
neglect, but it's not. But for the most part, yeah, it's pretty cut and dry. And no, I'm not. Those motherfuckers were making up excuses, or not. They were making up hypotheticals for that situation, and that's absolutely not what I was doing. Because I'm very much against child neglect.
Well, I mean,
100% of the time.
I thought so.
Yeah.
So I'm glad we cleared that up.
Had us worried there for a
Well,
second.
we were all
No,
like,
I can also
what the fuck
see where
is-
everybody listening is going to make that same fucking face that y'all did.
Yeah.
Just the
like all
the,
three of us
the
were like,
collective gasp. What the fuck? And I was like, no, I need to explain what I'm talking about. Because
Well, you're talking about a misunderstanding.
yeah. Right, I mean-
exactly. That could look a certain way
Right.
until you look at
Well,
the bigger
motherfucker,
picture.
being
That's what I'm saying. It could look a certain way until you examine more of the surrounding
Because
situation.
like our entire childhood would be neglectful
yeah,
now.
right.
Oh God.
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Kid home alone, had to
Yeah.
cook himself dinner. It's 7:30 at night. Parents unavailable by phone. That looks like neglect.
Yeah.
Until you realize the time period that it happened. Parents are divorced. Mom's at school till 8 o'clock at night. After working all day, dinner was already made, and in the refrigerator, all he had to do was warm it up. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
There are
You know,
situations where
And
the
that's another
context
thing.
is important.
People were getting onto this employee that recorded everything.
I really don't think she
and
should've
like,
gotten in
yeah,
trouble.
there are cameras in Walmart, and then you have to get like the police involved and get
Yeah,
all
don't you
that
have to
stuff.
have? They have to
You
have,
have to
a
have a
warrant.
warrant.
Yeah, she's filming what's going on. I don't think she.
She's not. Like,
It was against policy. Yes.
Yeah, it was against policy, but I don't think she did anything
but she's
wrong.
not like influencing the outcome. She's
No.
just,
No.
What's already happening.
This
Right.
is what's happening, and I can prove it right
Yeah.
here. I
And
mean,
in
I
her
don't-
head, that's what she was doing.
Yeah.
There needs to be proof of this
Well,
so
because-
this
and she
child
was
is
asking
protected.
people, "Can someone please call the police?"
Because
Yeah.
that woman very easily, if she hadn't recorded that, could have said, "She was wearing this when I brought her in."
Yeah.
Who's going to argue with her?
Yeah, because the police probably aren't going to go get the videotapes from. No. Now, if it was a policy that's like an instant fire or whatever, okay, yeah, I did it. I
then
got
it's
fired.
a judgment call. Was it
And,
worth it
and
to me?
I don't
to-
regret doing it. you
Right.
know?
Her getting fired a couple days later, though, makes me think that they got shit
Yeah.
from someone.
Yeah, I think they got legal
Yeah.
shit from somebody, and they were
Now,
mitigating
now
the
that
damage.
legal shit could have come from the Walmart corporate lawyers.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
they got
they were mitigating
threatened.
their damage
Yeah.
right there
Yeah,
and trying
damage
to
control.
Yeah, asses were being covered,
Yep.
and
But I'll tell you what, if I had a store in the Jackson area, I wouldn't mind hiring her. Be like, yeah, I know you got fired. Come on.
Yeah, because at least I know that
you can start
have
on
a
Monday.
conscience.
Yeah. That she's willing to do the right thing, or at least document what's happening.
Like that. I mean, we should celebrate that more than punish it.
Yeah.
But then you also
I get it from Walmart's perspective.
I do too, because God, I mean,
because they don't give a fuck about employees, and
No.
they got to protect
they
their
do
bottom
everything
line.
they can to not give their employees benefits.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like
They don't give a shit about those customers either.
no.
Oh. They don't give a shit about their shareholders either, just in case anybody was wondering. It's the board that makes all the money.
Oh yeah.
The shareholders don't.
Are we done with this? Because I have something I want to.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. Let it rip.
Okay, and I'm not going to name
This
any,
actually went a lot longer than I was expecting.
really, and I'm not going to name any names, and it's just a situation that, as someone who's been married a long time, I think about a lot, because it happened. Okay, someone I went to school with married a girl that I went to school with. They were married for like 25 years. They had a child together. He loved her so much, and she died.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think she was like 45, and they'd been married since they were kids, like us, And she's been gone since she died, like 3 days after my mom died. So since 2020,
Okay.
summer of 2020, and I follow him on his socials and stuff, and he still makes videos all the time, about her and how he misses her, and I mean, I think he'll feel that way till he dies. But he's remarried,
Okay.
and I'm not judging him for that, because I mean, it's not like he did it the next day. Like, my thing is, I think
It'll
it's
be hard for the new wife.
right.
Yeah.
I think it's so admirable that he still loves her, and I think, like I said, I think he'll love her till the day he dies. And that's not to say that he doesn't love the new wife, because I don't think he's the type that would just marry somebody just to do it. She must be a better woman than me.
Yeah, because I'll be like,
I can't.
this man doesn't.
I couldn't come in.
I wouldn't say he doesn't love me. I'm not the love of his life.
Right, and I could not come in second to a dead woman.
Oh, nobody can. That's why when you like that's one of the, how you have like the horror movie rules for surviving a horror movie. That's one of the things on like rom-coms and shit like that. You can't compete with the dead boyfriend. No.
But that-
you need for him to live a very long and healthy life with someone else.
Yeah, but
Because
I just-
because as soon as that person dies, they become basically a martyr in
and I mean,
that
I get
person's
that, but I don't
memory.
I don't feel like, I mean, he was that vocal about his love for her when she was still here. It's not one of those things like he never talked
Yeah.
about his wife. She died, and now she's the second coming.
Yeah,
it
she's
wasn't like
ascended
that.
to sainthood or something. like
Right?
that.
No, he was very loud and very vocal about his love for her always, and that more than anything made me surprised. When he remarried, not in a bad way. I was like pleasantly surprised that he could find that when I heard it, I thought, this man's going to drink himself to death. I was so afraid that.
And I mean, I don't know who this is, but it could also be like some people just can't be alone,
Right.
Especially someone who's been married since they were
It's
so
all
young.
they knew,
Yeah.
And so I was pleasantly surprised when I figured out that he'd gotten remarried. He was real quiet about it, and I mean, that's respectful, because they have a child still living, and that had to be, emotional for the child too.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I was really pleased, because I was like, well, I was worried that he was living some sort of half-life, and so I'm glad he went out and grabbed life. But I think about, and I don't even know this woman, but I think about her a lot, and it's weird. I worry about her because,
there's a guy that I went to high school with that is in almost the exact same position. Almost the exact same position. I'm not immune to doing it either. I'd move my microphone away from my mouth, and Amber.
We all do it.
Yeah, Amber reminded me. So anyway, this guy I went to high school with, he had 2 boys from a previous relationship. He got married to this woman. Keep in mind, he's my age. Mm-hmm. She drank herself to death.
No.
But not before having another baby.
With
so
him.
He has 3 boys, all under the age of like 7.
That's awful.
He's
Alone.
my age.
Yeah.
7 is the oldest one. And he is engaged again. And she didn't die in 2020. She died like 18 months ago, maybe. Whatever it was. It wasn't too terribly long ago. And I see him post about 3 or 4 times a year about how, we happy heavenly birthday or fucking whatever, and how we'll always love you so much and blah blah, all this. And I've thought the same thing. I'm like, I appreciate that. That's really cool, and those are his boy's mom. But what is this other woman feeling like?
Yeah, like how does that make her feel?
Yeah.
And like I just don't think I could be that generous.
I don't know that I could be that cool. Yeah.
I don't think it's not enough for me for you to kind of be into me. Like
But she died, so clearly she has ascended to sainthood. That's what I'm saying. You can't compete with a dead spouse.
And I don't get the picture. I'm not trying to imply that I think this new woman is, because she seems really cool and really understanding, because she seems younger than him, not like in a gross way, but And
that's the same thing with this guy.
I was going to ask it, like, has she been married before and all that? Or?
I know she has a child. That's all I know about her, because like I don't know her, and it's weird that I catch myself like worrying about this woman I don't know. But I just like, what an awkward. I mean, I hope that they seem happy, and I hope they are, but that would be really emotionally hard for me, because I don't need you to kind of be into me. I need you to be kind of low key obsessed with me. Like I need to be your sun, your moon, your stars. So that wouldn't be enough for me,
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. You can't compete with a dead significant other. Can't do it. And not
That would
only
be
that,
hard.
not only that, you can't compete with a dead ex significant other.
Oh no, because
they ascend to sainthood too. You need all the exes
to be
alive and well with someone
else over there.
So your significant other can remember how much of a dick they were. No, I'm dead serious.
It's
That's
true.
psychology. I mean,
because
granted,
when people
it came
pass
from
on,
romantic comedies, but it's the truth.
when people pass on, we tend to forget.
I hate that.
And we like lionize them, make them bigger than they were. Some
had
people
this,
do. I don't.
We had this one guy, and I'm not gonna say his name.
I try to remember them warts and all, because that's what made them human.
Yeah, we had this one guy, and I'm not gonna say his name because I didn't fucking like him.
Fuck that guy.
Okay, let me tell you. So he was quite an avid drinker, and he had figured out how much to drink with his pain meds that he was on.
Oh, that is not good.
Yeah, and they upped his pain meds, and he kept drinking the same amount, and he killed himself.
Because he didn't adjust.
Yeah, and they didn't find him until like 4 or 5 days later.
Ooh.
Now,
That's not good in the South.
no. Now, when I found out about this, it was like the day or two after they found him, and I happened to be in the office this particular day, so lucky me, and everybody was talking about how he was the greatest guy and the nicest guy they ever met and real team player and all. I'm like, have any of you motherfuckers ever seen this guy? Have you ever talked to
y'all
him?
at the
Have
right
you ever
funeral?
worked with him? He was the biggest dickhead I ever met in my fucking life. I've met a lot of fucking assholes, and he is the king of all of them. I mean, I heard him talk to his wife in a way that I wouldn't talk to my worst fucking enemy. And I'm sitting there going, dude, wow, really? And she lets you crawl in bed with her?
Yeah, that
After
happens
you fucking
a lot.
shoot her
though,
asshole out like that?
People suddenly become.
Yeah, they fucking ascend to sainthood. And it's like, man, I don't know what the fuck kind of bullshit. I don't know if y'all are trying to praise him into heaven or what. But that guy was a fucking douche, and y'all need to remember that.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was it. I just hate it when people ascend to sainthood
Yeah.
when they were clearly assholes when they
Right.
were here.
Have we got? There was something else. What else were we going to talk about?
Um,
Oh, I don't have any idea.
what was the name of it? The the wetsuit ninjas.
Oh God.
Oh,
The
God.
So again, we're into true
That's
crime.
all I could think
If there's a
of
true
off the
crime
top of my head.
documentary,
That sounds like a cool band name.
Amber, Ross, and I are going to watch that motherfucker.
All right,
And
we'll take it away.
we watched. It was called American Nightmare, and it's on Netflix. And it opens, and this young man, he's just sitting there looking all perplexed, and he's talking about being a home invasion in the middle of the night. They're like floodlights shine in his eyes, and
Yeah, they were in bed at the time. And
and
bright lights.
She tied him up, and they put goggles with
Yeah, blacked out goggles.
blacked out swim goggles on their faces, and they gave him drugs, and they were wearing.
That sounds like a hell of a party.
Oh, right.
Yeah, like the guy said, he said he was cold, and the person who broke in, it was like, oh, I'm so sorry, like apologize.
Yeah, like,
So I
oh,
guess the
I
only
forgot,
the
I'm
only
in a wetsuit.
the only difference between a hell of a party and a crime drama is consent.
Yeah, well, there was
He
no
like,
consent here.
oh, I didn't realize it was so cold. We're wearing wetsuits.
Yeah.
Let me get you a blanket.
And he's like, they gave me drugs, and I believe it was Benadryl and no, it was
NyQuil and
and
something. I don't
Valium.
know.
Holy shit.
And
Well, and he said there was like 2 or 3 of them.
yeah, and they drugged him, and they told him that they were going to hold her for ransom, and they asked the girlfriend's name, and they were like, "Where's Andrea?"
We have a problem.
And he's like, "I'm not dating Andrea anymore."
Yeah, we broke up months ago.
This was supposed to be for Andrea.
And they
That'd
were
have been
like,
funny if they were like, okay, so we're gonna back out. You count to 50 and take that shit off.
And so, and so
When you wake up, this was all a dream.
So
woke up-
he passes out.
We are not the wetsuit
And-
ninjas you were looking for.
They kidnap her. She's gone when he wakes up.
And so when he wakes up and finally,
He's all groggy
it's like
and
12 hours
druggy,
later,
and it's
he's
like 12
like,
hours later.
they play
Fuck, 12 hours.
they play the 911 call, and he's like,
Yeah. My girlfriend's been kidnapped. I mean, literally, it was just
I mean,
like
it's so monotone. Like
matter of fact.
he was just very underwhelmed.
They're like, when
look,
was she kidnapped? And
was
last
like,
night.
y'all aren't gonna
And you're
believe
just
this.
now calling.
And he's like, I was
I
drugged.
was drugged.
And they were
So,
No,
I
wearing,
mean,
I don't even think
literally.
he said he was drugged
No.
at that point. I think he said he was tied up
Yeah.
and I don't know.
because later on,
Yeah, then
we
he-
found out the reason he was so calm is because he
He
was
was
still
drugged.
kinda-
yeah. So,
He was
anyway,
tied up. He meant he was busy running errands. He didn't mean he was tied up.
Well,
no, he was tied
so
up.
anyway, they go to the police station and they're interviewing him. Well, first of all, the cop tells him that you're not a suspect. We're just having a friendly conversation.
That's
Yeah,
what they say.
That's what they
Bullshit.
say when you're the suspect.
You're in our police scrubs, our prison scrubs, but you're not under
Yeah.
arrest.
So anyway,
Thanks for putting on this orange jumpsuit, though.
But
that makes
no,
us
he was literally in the
Oh,
jail
yeah.
pants.
that
Yeah.
makes us go a lot quicker.
so literally, all they know at this point is what he's telling them. But the longer they interrogate him,
It just sounds-
what he's telling
crazier
him
he
sounds
sounds.
crazier
Right.
and crazier.
And like-
so literally, he tells the detective at one point, "Yeah, they were wearing wetsuits,"
And you see the detective
and the
go,
detective's like, "What?"
into his head like this motherfucker.
Yeah,
And like
I
the
mean-
thing is, at the time,
You know that detective's like, we got another Jesse Smollett.
Oh, he was an asshole. He was like, "What'd he do? Swimming?
Yeah,
Why
it
was
was
in
really
a
bad.
wetsuit?"
Then he said, I was drugged. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
you were
sure you were.
drugged. You know, I mean,
But
they,
the
well,
thing
that
is-
should be easy to figure out, though. A quick
Right.
blood test,
Oh
I would
no,
think.
no, he went. Oh yeah, so you and your girlfriend were drinking and using drugs
drugs,
all
yeah.
night.
yeah, and he was
yeah.
like, y'all had a fight. I mean, come on.
like, no, motherfucker, I was drugged.
And like they keep now, mind you, at this point we have the same information the cops had at this point.
Yeah.
So we're thinking this kid
Yeah,
is
because the first episode was just about the boyfriend.
yeah, and you're thinking he's insane.
The first 45 minutes, an hour for the first
You're like,
episode.
this
First
mother-
45 minutes, you're thinking, this motherfucker's guilty.
And like and
I mean, how you going to come up with a story like that and think you're
That's
going to get
the
away
best
with
you
it?
can
I don't know. The wetsuit ninjas, that's pretty creative.
and so he's
I'm telling you, that's a cool band name.
he's talking and you're just like, whatever, dude.
Like,
And 'cause-
you couldn't come up with
And
a more
apparently
believable
this guy
story.
is just super, super chill anyway when
Yeah.
he's not drugged. Because he was like, they kept saying, why don't you tell me the truth? And he was like,
He's like, I didn't do anything.
I don't know what to tell you. I didn't. And he would just throw up his little hands like,
Yeah.
fuck me, I am. I don't know. Like, I can't. Should I say it in another language? What, like,
Do you want me to say it with an accent?
So, cut to what? 3 days later?
2.
2 days later?
This reporter.
She just no,
No, her dad gets a phone
That's,
call.
well, no.
but she just walks up. To
No, you're missing part.
What?
Before she walks up, she now calls and does a proof of life
Oh yeah, they did a proof of life.
and calls this reporter, and it's like,
And she's real chill too.
these
Yeah.
are the chillest motherfuckers. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be
Yeah.
in a crisis with these
My
people.
name's so and so. I was kidnapped.
She was like,
Yeah.
other than being kidnapped, I'm fine. It's
And then
fine.
she had to do a
Oh, yeah, you're right.
a big
Okay.
event that just happened
Yeah,
to show
like
that
there was
she
this
was still.
a plane crashed on X day here place, and she's just very matter of fact, and so you're like,
They're like, what the fuck? What are they up to?
yeah. So
What
now
is
they
going
think
on
they're
here?
working together to scam, and it was right about the time.
If I was him, I'd have been like, that's a shitty theory because I'm in the police station being questioned.
Yeah.
And so right about the
It was
time,
right after
Gone Girl
came out with Ben
Oh,
Affleck.
and they
shit.
thought it was a Gone Girl situation. That's what they called
They
it.
actually called it the Gone Girl case.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
on the
So anyway,
The real Gone Girl.
Yeah.
3 days later, she just walks up to her dad's house 400 miles away from where she disappeared.
Wow.
they
Yeah.
called her dad and said, yes, she's coming.
Yeah.
Who called?
The people that kidnapped her.
Kidnappers.
Kidnapped her.
Oh.
We just dropped her off.
So then,
Okay.
from that point on, this local police department and the FBI that they've called in,
Yeah,
one
this is
agent,
important.
have just basically they've determined that it's all a hoax. They did this on purpose to get attention.
We don't know why,
Blah, blah, blah.
but they
We don't
did.
know why. We don't care why. It's a hoax. They have caused all this ruckus. They've cost money.
It
blah,
cost the
blah, blah.
taxpayers.
They're talking about wanting to prosecute them and
Oh,
everything else
wow.
because it was all a hoax, all a
Yeah.
hoax, all a hoax.
All right.
And have put this out in the media, and so everybody's looking at them side eye. Oh, this is a hoax! You sorry piece of crap!
Wow. Okay.
So I mean, they really went through a lot of hell. Mm-hmm. While she was captive during this hoax, she was raped.
Twice.
She gets a lawyer because they start being all serious, like they're going to prosecute them for perpetrating a hoax. So she gets a lawyer. The lawyer goes in with her and says, "We'll talk to you. I want you to do a rape kit on her right now."
That seems reasonable.
There's evidence.
There's evidence
Not
of sex.
violent rape, but there's evidence.
Yeah,
that
because
there
her
was-
story was someone broke in, they put her in the back of the car, and she was kind of like mapping it out in her head.
Yeah,
like
and she was
where
like,
they
it
were
sounded like a
turning.
Mustang.
Yeah, so when he started the engine, it sounded like a Mustang. Like a Mustang
She's clearly
engine.
a car girl because I wouldn't have known that.
And
shit.
then, you know, she could tell once
Me
they
neither.
stop, they're out in more or less like a country setting.
Yeah.
Couldn't hear a lot around. You could hear birds and stuff. She goes in, she could feel tile under her feet, and then she could feel carpet. And she says that she's put in this room, and this guy, she's still got the blacked out goggles, and he won't let her take them off. And he said that they did the proof of life, and then he said, well, he says he's part of some kind of organization, human trafficking organization or something.
He's part of like a ring, and part of
Why would he have told her that?
part of it was that they needed to have sex on camera
So that
So she wouldn't go
in
to
order
the
to
police
be
and
able
talk.
to let her go, because then
she
they
Because
would
if
have
she
something
talked-
over her, so she couldn't talk.
Right.
He would
tell
put it
her.
online.
yeah. And here's the thing,
Right, but human trafficking doesn't work if you let them go.
right? Well, and so
It's hard to traffic
and
them.
he's saying that like since they're getting her for
Well, it was
ransom,
because it was the wrong girl, so they felt like they had to.
make it right because they're good stand-up human
Well, I mean,
traffickers.
yeah, you got to be.
And
honor
they
among
had told
traffickers.
her that since because they sent a ransom demand, but the cops had turned off her boyfriend's phone.
While they were interrogating him for 18 hours.
So he's just
So they
leaving
never got. So the
voicemails.
cops have just fucked this
So
up all day long.
he doesn't get the ransom demands, and now they're like,
What do we do now?
so here's the deal, bruh.
Well, nobody
Since we
answered, so
can't
what do
get
we do
ransom
now?
on you, we're gonna need a sex tape that we can market online.
Yeah.
Totally reasonable.
So we got to
Upload it to Pornhub. We're making money somehow.
We've got expenses we need to cover.
We got to cover
Oh
this
yeah,
overhead.
and he's like in the other room, like
Talking,
listening
like
to
arguing.
to French. What was it? French
Songs.
rap or something?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
And
Oh,
he's
that sounds
awful.
sounds
He's
awesome.
arguing with the other frogmen, sex traffickers, kidnappers.
Wet-
About what
Suit
they're going to do with
ninjas.
In
her.
the other room. Yeah.
About what?
Ninjas.
After we found out the truth, I'm just playing this out of my
Yeah, I
head. Like, it's great.
Apparently, the first sex video wasn't good
It
enough.
wasn't good
Well,
enough. It didn't.
it looked-
She needed to look more like she was
Into it.
in a
into it.
relationship with
Yeah.
him.
Because the first time,
like
they
she had
wanted
been
to look
having an
like rape.
affair.
So do y'all remember? Because you guys have all seen this. Do y'all remember when I said I want to know the end? Skip to the end.
Okay, just
No,
a minute. No,
no,
you
no,
can't.
no.
No.
Oh, come on.
You can't
No.
because there's too much. So anyway, so now they make the sex tape where it's part of their relationship.
And she had to like get drunk.
She had
first.
she's like drinking wine. He's like, did you start without me? And she's like, yeah. and like,
Oh my god.
and I was like, I think I would be making smart aleck remarks to my kidnappers. That seems in character. So then they make that, and then the next day they let her go.
Yeah.
And so
So anyway, like I said, she'd gone in. They did a rape kit, so there was evidence that there was
Sex.
But the cops were still like, "Nah, fuck you, y'all." This
because
is a
it
hoax."
wasn't like violent,
Yeah.
like
There was like
attack,
the normal
like if you
tearing
had a
and
night
stuff
of
you
rough
would have.
sex, but
Right.
rough consensual sex.
Yeah.
But it's not like he was punching her in the back of the head
Yeah,
and shit.
exactly.
Right.
So,
But-
nah, this is still a hoax. Fuck y'all.
Yeah,
we're
and so they
prosecuting
wouldn't,
y'all.
they
blah
wouldn't,
blah
yeah.
blah.
And so
And even the FBI dude's being like a dick. Okay, so now all of a sudden we find out.
that there's been a peeping Tom in the neighborhood.
No,
Oh,
that's not where I'm going first.
sorry.
Now all of a sudden we find out. Remember, I told you there was an FBI agent
This
that
is
they had
important.
called in. Mm-hmm. So all of a
He has
sudden
a wetsuit.
now we find no.
But guess who used to date?
Guess who he used to date?
That girl?
Dude's ex-girlfriend.
Andrea, the one they were
The-
coming
the
for.
one that they were
said
supposed to
was
get.
That's who they were supposed to get.
Oh.
And here's the other thing: Andrea, the actual victim, and little boyfriend are all physical therapists in the same office.
Oh, that's hinky.
And so she's back home. They're in hiding because they're getting death threats for
Yeah, people
like
that, oh, you
the
fucking
hoax
hoaxer.
and
Oh my
stuff.
god.
Yeah.
You know, people like Amber, they broke the rules. So, yeah.
And so
So anyway,
then we find out we
then
go to another police
well,
station.
yeah. Well, what happens is that case ain't really. These
It's
cops
just
are
gone
like
stagnant.
stupid. It's just gone stagnant. So within a couple of months, 40 miles away in another town, somebody comes in and they attempt to kidnap the wife. Anyway,
With
no. They tied up the wife. They were going to rape their daughter, an adult
But before
daughter.
that,
was 20.
didn't he say something about? Oh yeah, before that, the kidnapper was actually
Oh, that's
getting
right.
upset that they weren't believing
Oh,
her
yeah,
story.
Yeah, he starts. There's a police. There's an investigative reporter that is handling this case for the area, and he's getting all these things in the mail. The kidnapper's now pissed. He's like, I'm gonna do this shit. Y'all need to issue her.
I'm gonna do something.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do something.
You need to issue an apology to her.
To my victim, you've disrespected her.
And if
Bitch,
y'all
you
don't
raped
do
her
it-
on camera, but they disrespected her.
And if
And
y'all
if
don't do it,
something bad's going to happen.
I'm gonna do it again.
Yeah.
And so then he tried to.
So 40 miles away, goes in, and he's going to rape the adult daughter. She's like 22.
Okay.
Dad's got a problem with that.
Oh, I bet he does.
And apparently gets a little sideways. Dude takes off running. So they come to investigate this. And there's this Hispanic woman who's a police sergeant. This is her first case as a detective.
Like, she just got moved
Okay.
up from beat
Just
cop.
got moved up to be a detective.
Okay.
So her first case, she gonna do this right.
Oh yeah, balls out.
Well, and it's, like the whole reason she got into policing was because when she was a teenager, her best friend was sexually assaulted,
Yeah,
and
okay.
that she was like, I'm going to fight for people like this.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
So she had a vested interest. Motherfucker.
So she goes in, they're investigating, and they collect a bunch of evidence. And she starts seeing kind of a pattern of stuff. So she gets to looking at cases in the area that kind of maybe match that. And it leads her to a couple of different things. There was an island off the coast or whatever that was, I mean, it was a whole other neighborhood or a whole other little city almost to its own.
Epstein Island.
No.
No.
And this was actually the island where the original couple was attacked in the same island. But 20 years before, there was all these Peeping Tom cases on that island. Then this same woman gets to looking around. And what was crazy is she kept popping up all these different cases, but they weren't related directly to this one until somebody she was interviewing finally said, well, this sounds like that Gone Girl case. And she said, Gone Girl case? What are you talking about? And so they told her about it. And so then she starts investigating that, and she was like, oh, this is the same guy. Because they found duct tape.
This was different. She had no idea about the
She had
Gone Girl.
no
girl.
idea.
She had been investigating something totally different.
Totally different.
Okay.
But she had this blonde
But
hair. That
blonde
she recovered.
hair in a pair of goggles that had been covered
Blacked
up with
out.
duct tape. I mean, yeah. I mean, just all the same stuff.
Okay, so anyway, it turns out it's all the same guy. It's one guy.
One dude.
He had like
Get this,
manic-
this dude, and he's not an idiot.
He
this
was a
dude went to
Harvard,
Harvard
Law
Law
graduate.
School.
Wow.
He was just crazy.
Yeah, he just
apparently.
tripped his switch. He had mannequins that he dressed up in like
wetsuits.
wetsuits.
So that people would think there was more people than just him to throw people off.
That's not crazy. That's really fucking smart.
Like the gun he threatened
So
him with
he
was
was
a
really
toy
actually-
gun
Toy
that had been
painted black.
painted
Yeah.
and had like a
flash-
LED flashlight tape.
Or was it
to
a laser pointer
There
or a
was like
flashlight or
so
something?
It looked like a laser.
So really, the whole wetsuit ninjas was just him and two mannequins
his
dressed
mannequin
in
buddies.
That's fucking brilliant.
Now this is the part I was like, I kept imagining.
There was somebody. They asked somebody about a phone number. I can't remember where they got the phone number.
yeah,
was.
she's like, oh, that's my
Yeah,
son.
she's like, that's my son.
Yeah.
Like,
Because when
where's
he tried to
at
get
now?
to get the girl and
No, they
rape her,
did.
he left
Oh,
his
he's-
phone.
Yeah.
He
That's
dropped
what
it
it
in
was.
the
Dropped
scuffle
his phone at
chat.
the scene. And so when
That-
they asked her, well, where is
That's
he
like a big
now?
no-no. You need to
Oh,
keep that
he's-
shit with you.
He's staying in my lake house up at so-and-so, and They go and
they were like,
find
wait
everything
a
they
fucking
can find
minute. So
incriminating.
remember when he's trying to convince the girl that he needs to make the sex tapes, and he's
Yeah.
arguing with his fellow cabal
fellow-
members. I think
was
it's
the
like,
mannequins.
we gotta do this. She's a nice girl. She deserves better than that. No, man, bro, we gotta do this. No, I really. Fuck me.
Brilliant.
Oh, and it ended up it was a Mustang, so she didn't
Yeah,
know
she
her
was
cars.
right, it was.
And
a
it was
Mustang.
stolen.
All right.
And he had it at the lake house, just parked there.
So
And they found her blood in it.
this Harvard law graduate's just like fighting with his different personalities. I fucking
Do you know
guess.
how hard it is to get into Harvard anything?
Yes.
Holy shit.
So anyway, finally everything starts coming together, and it was all due to this sergeant turned
Yeah,
detective.
right.
I mean, she literally went and put
She
this
just
whole
laser focused
This
on it.
dude had been doing this kind of crap for 20 or 30
Yeah,
years.
since before he went off to Harvard.
Wow.
Yeah.
He'd been peeping
and so
Peeping
anyway,
and raping and
yeah.
everything.
Oh my God! What about the other girl that he broke into her apartment? Now listen.
Oh
He
God,
broke
yes.
into her apartment
oh God.
before these ever happened, like 10 years before. And it was the same thing. Came in at night. A weight was on her. The goggles, everything. And she starts crying. She's got a boyfriend, but he doesn't live there. And she starts crying. And I don't know, made her case so well that he was like, "You're right. I can't
I can't do this.
You're killing my boner.
Like, so he was like, I feel really bad. I can't do this. And so he's like,
That'd have
so,
been fucked up if she'd have been like, yeah, because you're a bitch.
and so he sits down on her bed. Now, mind you, she's still
Wearing goggles.
she's still zip tied, wearing the goggles, and he's like,
I just got to rub one out real quick.
he's like, no, I've got some advice if you'd like to hear it.
Oh,
And he's like, you should really get a dog. That'll protect you and keep
Yeah.
something like this from happening again. What the?
And that was funny
Wow.
because like the sergeant detective lady, she was like, the fucking gall of this motherfucker.
He's like, I was gonna do. I just can't with you crying like that. I can't.
it's really fucking up my fucking
and
erection.
then he's in there to do something, and then he's giving her advice on security.
On home security. Yeah.
What got me was the whole letter about how dare you not
Yeah.
believe my victim's
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
You
So-
have disrespected
So
my victim.
did they issue a public apology?
Oh no.
Because
hell no.
I would have.
They did
screamed
settle out
publicly
of
for
court.
that.
Oh, they did settle out of court for like $2.5 million.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And that settlement would have
And
included a public apology.
There was no
The boyfriend,
public apology
girlfriend.
ever. They got
Oh,
married.
my
They had a
goodness.
They
baby.
got married. They had a baby, 2 babies.
Yeah, everything went great.
But
She
at
was
the
scared
end
that
of
he
it-
wouldn't want her
after that,
Right.
She's like, she was crying. She was like, I didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
She was
like
afraid he
saying,
didn't want anything
you know,
to do
I
with
think
her
I
after
just
being
want you to
raped.
know, if you don't hear anything else, I didn't want to do it,
Well, and,
Right.
and the other thing
that was sad.
Like you see the sergeant detective come back and actually meet the two of them, and they're all happy dory. Everything else, the story's wrapping up and
Hey,
ready
Brandy,
to end.
can you
And
kick him
here's-
back up there?
The story's ready to end, and here's what's going through my head. Wait a fucking minute. I want to know what the connection is between
Yes.
Andrea,
And this-
the FBI agent,
Because
Yeah.
there's no way that was just fucking
and the
random.
kidnapper. You don't
I'm
ever hear
wondering-
nothing about it.
I'm wondering if either he was trying to get a revenge on Andrea for something, or if he was gonna save her and win her back. I mean, come on, that can't be. It's not like
That is
a town
way
of 4
too
people.
coincidental.
It can't be.
Yeah.
Oh, you were supposed to be Andrea. What? Huh? Excuse me?
I mean, it could have just been since they all worked together. I mean, they worked together before any of this happened.
Yeah.
He had his eyes set on Andrea for whatever reason and didn't know they broke up. Went in to get her and then got this other girl and was like, shit, I guess I'll just do this
Guess I'll
with
just
her.
fuck her.
But what I'm trying to figure out is that, like, you just can't convince me that the regional FBI agent that came into this had dated the intended victim.
That seems
That's a
little
like
too neat.
it's. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a little suspicious.
Yeah, that's suspicious.
Yeah, a little bit.
But yeah, I mean, the twists and turns. Like,
I know, because at first you're like, oh, this fucking guy. He
This
did
dude
it.
is guilty as hell.
Yeah, they totally did this together, and then you're like, this apology letter, and then the mannequins. It was great.
I'm telling you,
Oh,
I
God.
just imagine him arguing with his alter ego. Oh, kicking the table. No, I told you.
You need to do this.
Man up, bitch.
Do it again, but this time have love in your eyes.
yeah, exactly. That's
Like,
basically what he
all
told
right,
her.
so we're gonna have to do another tape because look,
But you're gonna have to
we've
look
got
like you like it.
expenses. And so you're gonna have to
Like
act
you're
like
having an affair or something.
yeah, like be really into me this time.
Dude.
And then, all right, I'm gonna do it again if you don't apologize to my victim. You dishonored her.
Y'all gonna make me do something? Jesus Christ.
It was a
God.
wild. I'm telling. It was a wild.
It was crazy.
ride. Yeah. At no point.
See, if
I
now if
know
we
what
just
was gonna
told
happen
you,
next.
if we just told you the ending, that'd have been boring.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
had to go through the twists and the turns.
We had
No,
to
it wouldn't
build to the climax. Come
No,
on.
that's what
I
what
can
y'all
honestly
have to
say
do.
at no point did I know what was going to happen next.
No,
I know.
no.
Well, the wetsuit
No.
ninjas is my favorite part of
Oh
that.
God, that was hilarious.
We know what Chris's next band will be.
I'm telling you, if I
You're welcome. I
do,
had just came up
She
with that by myself.
literally the sergeant detective chick when she found the first mannequin dressed in. I mean, she found it when she first found it. You could tell the look on her face. She said, "Oh God, we got another victim," and then she's like, "What the fuck?"
I'm telling you, if I'm ever in another band, it's gonna be named Wetsuit Mannequins.
Ninjas.
Ninjas.
Wetsuit ninjas.
Thank God, because I can't spell mannequin.
Oh my god,
I can't spell ninja though.
it was wild. It was wild.
Oh God.
We need more criminals like that. I mean, I
Yeah.
hate the lady got raped. That's sad.
Yeah, so American Nightmare, y'all have to watch
Yeah,
it.
Yes.
yeah.
I mean, we just told you the whole
I mean,
thing,
we
but it's
spoiled
still
it for
worth
you, but
it's still worth
worth
watching.
watching it.
It's a lot.
Because I'm sure we missed stuff.
Oh, I know
Well,
we did.
like the lawyer, because the
Oh my
boy
God,
the
the
boyfriend had a pair of lawyers, and the girlfriend had a lawyer.
And they eventually made a legal team
the
together.
and you went through the same
Like the
process
Wonder
with
Twin
them
powers.
Yeah.
as you did with the boyfriend, thinking he was guilty. These lawyers, you're thinking, God, y'all are gullible as hell, believing this dumb son of a bitch.
And I mean, and the lawyers were pretty cool actually, because this
Yeah.
one lady lawyer, she's like, I didn't fucking see that coming. I was like, oh, we could be BFFs.
Oh Lord.
I think Chris is ready.
Yeah, we'll be coming from our new location next time we record.
Yep.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.